Yeah, but it's not like you're just staring at it.
If you like meditate and read every night instead of going on your phone, you'll probably notice such a difference in your life. I feel like.
I would only read like fiction.
I've legitimately hypnotized myself to fall asleep to a certain YouTube channel.
I kind of have that too. There's this one guided visualization that kind of just hypnotized me to sleep at this point. Have you guys seen the flopping back to tablet type devices? There's like, what is it called? It's like a note-taking pad.
Oh, like the paper kind, the e-ink display looking ass.
Yeah, what is this thing called? Remarkable. The Remarkable 2 tablet. It's kind of cool, dude.
I was deciding between that and the iPad, and I ended up with the iPad just because you can do more.
Yeah, I think that's the point of the Remarkable, though, is that you can't do for it.
Yeah.
You don't get distracted and shit. I think also like the paper feel of it, though.
I got a paper like screen protector on mine.
So does it feel nice?
It's pretty good.
Maybe I get a Kindle.
I kind of want one. You can read on these Remarkables though too, David, and you can like mark them up with a little pen.
Is it remarkable?
I was kind of sold on it. It's just kind of expensive for what it is.
There was a kid in our engineering class.
280.
Oh, I see.
Because I have like this sketchbook that I'll kind of like just like take notes in with like a felt tip pen.
All right, let's take a look at that. So, don't worry about getting through the chicane too crazy. Just make sure that you're straight and at least have a little bit of speed coming, and it shouldn't make too much of a difference because you're on the brake pretty much right away. Get rid of this, sorry. Don't say I don't try hard for these. I was here hour and 16 minutes, huh? All right. Okay. So right after you cross the start-finish line, you're going to have this little right-hand bend here. You want to kind of visualize a straight line, setting it for the left-hander, and then get on the brake and start downshifting by the 3. I'm a little early here, but it's better to be early than late because you can miss this pretty easily. I want to take a little more curb than I did here. You can really take, whenever you see this red curby part, you can take like almost all of that. But sometimes it upsets the car, so maybe taking just a little bit of curb is okay. Doesn't matter too much because this line is kind of counterintuitive. We enter shallow, and then we just trail brake and turn until we stick to the apron. And then I'm going to pick up half throttle. I want to stay on this curb for its entirety. You're going to see a lot of people trying to throttle up, like right here. They're going to start throttling up, and then they're going to start sliding up. That does absolutely nothing for you because you're going to have to crank the wheel even harder at the exit. You really just want to keep it down, pinned on the bottom so that you can straighten out early and carry a little speed here because this is going to make you slide your right rear like every time, or left rear, or whatever slides. One of the rear slides. Okay, so getting into this corner, I don't know any of the corner numbers, by the way, I apologize. Brake on the 2, maybe a little bit earlier if you're uncomfortable with your braking point. Maximum you can brake in the ARCA car without locking up is like 80%. So I'm trying to get that 80% and just holding it. Downshifting into first. This downshift in the first usually kicks it out, which is what you don't want. So I probably wanted to brake a little bit before the 2 here. Like the perfect braking, I can make it at 2, but you probably want to do it at 2.5 if you don't want to deal with this. Because this is not great. I was very lucky to end up where I ended up. It kicked me out in a perfect way. Again, you see the red part of this curb, you can take almost all of it. So I took almost all of it. And then I almost went off track here. I barely stayed on track. And they just want to straighten out early. That's like the line you want to take. You just want to be a little more controlled than I was, but not super consistent, but that's essentially what you want to do. You might want to be a little bit wider here, like turn in a little bit later. See how I turned in a little bit early? So I'm like not pointed at the apex really, I'm pointed below it. That kind of hurt me. But if you can turn left a little bit more delayed than I was, and then cut that apex a little better than I did, you'll carry it a lot better. All right, through this corner, you just kind of go partial throttle. Not a huge deal. You want to make sure you're set up on the right, though, because we're going to set up really wide. Give you a little bit of runoff here. Again, 60, 70, 80%, anywhere around there. Really, where do you want to brake? Sorry. It seems like as soon as I feel like I'm on the straightaway, I start braking. And I blocked up. You can see it. That's too much. Don't brake there. That's a lockup. See, you're learning what not to do, even with this hot lap. That's pretty nice. So don't brake too much. But somehow, I got lucky and it slowed down enough. You want to take more curb than I did here, just because it cuts it a little more. But that's serviceable, I guess. And then, again, you want to pin it down to this curb even longer than you think you need to. Because when the corner is this sharp on exit, it's not really... You can put the hammer down. You can't put the hammer down until you're straightening out the wheel. So you see, still half throttle, not even, and just about straight on the wheel. And then I go start testing full throttle when I get on the straight wheel. All right. Now we're setting up for the next corner here. At the 3 here, you want to brake a little bit before the 3. Like before the 7B even. If you get to the 3, you're too late. I almost locked up again. I got lucky not to. Just trying to get the car down to first really quickly. Get it down to first. And then from first, we want to hit this and miss the next one on the curb. I hit that hard and then unfortunately didn't get enough turn from my hit, so I had to hit second. So you see how I got loose there. I wouldn't have gotten loose there with a miss on the second. So hit, should be missing there, and I would have gained about a tenth or two. That's pretty much where all of my optimal is beating me, is off of that series of chicane, because I was able to get the power down. But the straightaway's not too long. So you see the 4 here. See this little bend? You want to go into the bend, like little apex into the bend, because there's a little banking, little camber here, where if you are trying to brake in anything but a straight line, it'll lock your tires up. So you want to make a straight line on your braking, and then start braking right at the 4. And I wheel hop. And again, I got really lucky this lap. This lap was really not clean. You're not supposed to wheel hop here. So I broke a little bit too late. See, I brake like halfway between the 4 and the 3. If I broke a little bit, like maybe 3/4 of the way to the 4 instead of halfway, then I wouldn't have had this wheel hop. But somehow, man, I don't know how I got through this corner, I'll be honest. So you want to put your lefts literally in the grass here. The one time I got it perfect, it like just turned my car and I didn't get an off track for it. So if you can aim to get your, or sorry, not your lefts, your rights, my bad. Aim to get your rights on the curb or even a little bit on the grass, and then hold your trail brake. I took it off a little bit early. I should have held this a little longer, to be honest with you. You don't want to take it off while you're staring straight at the wall. You want to be about here. And you see, I'm going a little wide here. You don't need to go wide there. You can really narrow it off and just get on the power early. I would say that this is a little bit slower. But you see I use the whole curb and just try to make as straight of a line as possible. Okay, and then the final chicane is a doozy. I brake, if I'm at full speed, I'm braking at the 5. I think you can push it a little farther, but boy was I not comfortable on my braking for this. So you see I start basically when I pass the 5. That's my braking. This was pretty clean, honestly. You want a huge hit on the first curb. Because as long as you huge hit, you should be going in a trajectory where you don't have to hit the second curb very hard and you can power down really quickly. This was like my most perfect attempt on this. So you see never above 80. A little bit of wheel hop. I did get a little wheel hop, but it seemed like a manageable amount of wheel hop because it's a little bit faster. Sorry, you're probably getting a headache at this point. It's a little bit faster to set up a little wider than I did. Maybe turn in a little, like if I wasn't wheel hopping, I could turn in harder into the chicane and have a better hit. But that was about the amount of speed that I could have carried through that regardless. So I got a pretty good hit there. Because for some reason, this curb doesn't really hurt you as much as the others. I think it's because of how slow we're going. So you can really take a lot of that and then just do a slight miss on the other. And then get her back through the gears and get back to the start-finish line. Talking about long run, the lines that I took, just make sure that you're not spinning your rear tires. First gear is good, but if first gear is spinning your tires, you might consider getting second gear when I was picking up first in some of those slower corners as the race goes on, because when your tires get hot, it's going to cause a lot more lockups and all that. So just make sure that you're keeping your car neutrally balanced. I was not doing that during the hot lap, but I won't aim to do that during the race, if that makes sense. Alrighty, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.